Your desires are meant to be. Hi, I am your host, Sky Cheyenne, and welcome back once again to Rebuild Reality, where as always, we talk about who we really are, why we're here, and how all of this stuff works. So yeah, your desires are actually meant to be. They're there for you to have, because what are desires? Desires are actually the divine urge coming from within you for you to know yourself as all that is, for you to remember who you really are. This is what desires are. That's where they're coming from. So we have to remember that we're seeing, of course, like I always say, like 0.1% of reality out of all that is, because of all that is out there. And we're seeing that little 0.1 is a heck of a lot, but even that is just nothing, because the truth is creation is finished. It's all already done. All we're doing is going in and choosing scripts from little scenarios, little versions of all the infinite versions of your life that exist. You can choose any one you want. And that's what we're doing here. So that's the exciting thing, is to discover, to realize you have a choice in how this all goes. So that divine urge is like, it wants you to expand. It wants you to know. It wants you to be able to go through things to see if what you want is really what you want, to be able to come to conclusions about it, to be able to resolve things and clear things and, have that feeling of satisfaction. So because creation is finished, any thought that you can think about a scenario you want means it's because it's there, because otherwise you can't think about it if it's not there. It wouldn't be something that your mind would even hook up with as a possibility unless it was already a part of all of creation that's already done. So all we're meant to do is just to say yes or no to it, just to choose it. That's it. And then once we choose it and decide, yes, that's what we want, then we do the other part, which is we give it over to the bigger part of us. Because remember, we're co-creators. We're supposed to be co-creating, but we're so used to being on our own, feeling that we're on our own, that it's all up to us, which of course, really stresses us out, kind of freaks us out and all that stuff, because it makes us feel unsafe, but we're not. So all of this is meant to finally make us aware that there is a bigger part of us that we are connected to, that is there to help us. Because the mind, well, it was never meant to understand everything. It was never created in the first place to know the rest of the story or to know how to get there. It was never meant to have all of it. That's the other part of you that you're meant to discover. That yes, there is another part of you that is here to help you, that's got your back, So your divine urge is just that desire, because it's that kind of push inside of you to remember who you are, to wake up again. And it's also what the creator, what source, what God, whatever you want to call it is, that's what it does. That's like its main function, is to know more of itself, to experience more of itself. So of course, since we are one in the same, we're the same thing, we have the exact same desire to constantly explore and create and achieve, and to find out what we really do want and what we don't want, to kind of go through it all. It's for the fun and excitement of remembering who we are again. I mean, because what's cooler than that, right? To remember like the power and stuff that we have. So when you desire it, it's because you're meant to have it. And that's pretty freaking cool if you ask me. It's like, yeah. So it's not like, because we think that we're desiring from a sense of lack, from a sense of I need because I don't have. But that's not where desire actually really comes from, not divine desire. those big urges in us where we want certain things so much because we want to experience that. We want to know what that is like, because maybe we haven't had that, or maybe we need closure, or we need to resolve something and to have that balance come together. So when we have a divine urge, just yes, do you want it or not? Yes or no? Otherwise, there's no conditions placed on it. There's nothing between you and it. You just choose it. It's already yours. It's, ask and it is given. Before you even ask, it's given. That's a part of scripture. So we just claim it, we assume it, and we don't block it. We don't stop believing in it. We don't stop believing that, yes, there is another part of us that has our back. And we need to know that. So this is that process of remembering that it's not just a little us, remembering who you are, that all power is yours. So just keep things simple. It's meant to be simple. It's meant to be super easy. And of course, what are we good at? Oh my God, we're so good at complicating the heck out of everything. It's like, yeah, good at that. So belief and faith, having the belief in it, having the faith in it, that, yeah, that really is true, is really just you getting suited up for it, because you're getting ready, because it's already here, that it's going to come into your visual, and that it's going to be knocking at the door, at any time now. So are you ready for it? Do you believe in it? And are you ready for it? Is someone coming over? Are you expecting someone? Do you want someone to come by? Well, then is the bed made? Are you shaved? Are you dressed? Is the house cleaned? Is the toilet cleaned? The things you would normally do if the person you wanted was coming over. If it's the money, well, and you're like, I'm a multimillionaire now and I am so out of this place. Well, start getting ready for it. Start sorting things. Because otherwise we're in that I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing, because we're not prepared for it. We're not ready for it. We're certainly not expecting it. So we don't know when, but we know that the more we do expect it, the more we're like, yeah, that thing is coming. I'm getting ready for it now. That is, getting suited up is living in the end, it's already that declaration that I am that, So desiring more is how we get to know that there is more to explore, that there is so much more, and it's all a part of remembering who we are. It's all a part of hooking up with that other part of us, that having that trust and faith and belief. And that's why these desires can be so strong. It's that strong urge to know more of ourselves and to uncover the truth of who we really are. Because at the bottom of it, desires aren't really about the thing. They're not really about the SP. They're not really about the money or the success or the admiration or whatever it is else that you want. They're really about the way, way more exciting thing, which is to know the power within you. And that, well, that's pretty worth remembering, pretty worthwhile remembering, to remember who you really are and what you can do. Desires are a wake-up call for that. And if you believe in that, you have faith in that knowing in that there is another bigger part of you that's going to handle all of this, then your desires, of course, are meant to be. They're not a problem in the slightest, nor were they ever meant to be. So I am your host, of course, Sky Cheyenne, and thank you so much for being with me here once again on Rebuild Reality. And I wanted to say, if anybody had questions, I know sometimes people have asked how to get a hold of me. There is an email for rebuildreality@gmail.com in the description box. Otherwise, thank you for liking, subscribing, for sharing, and most of all, for being here with me once again. And I will see you here next time. on Rebuild Reality.